While I am waiting for Marsha and Paulette to join, I'm making the DJ to see if the technical aspects are fine, either on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So bear with me, I'm really happy to welcome Paulette and Marsha later. It seems we are live on LinkedIn. And so we are on fire on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. We are live. So that's amazing. So this session is great. And because it takes a lot of resources, and we will talk about resources a bit later, but for our community member. So welcome. How are you feeling today? Today is the day 2 of the session. We are right on early. I know I should have begun 3 hours before. It is good to be or even earlier than expected. So while I am waiting for Marsha and Paulette to join, thank you again for joining. We are already 3 on live. And so day 2 of this day, let's talk about our community members. I'm going now to reduce the volume because in my side, my friends, I see a lot of lag. Is a bit like lagging, I think. So I'm going to cut the music right now. That's it, works. It's even better without the music because not lagging like that. So I wish they will join very soon. I don't see yet anyone. So this is the day 2. Yesterday we were only I, Paulette, and Marsha, and glad that we seen some people already. We are still on time. We are still early, so bear with me because our special guest will join. So today is today. And so it's the day 2. And we will welcome Jane, who will talk about her experience about community members. And I'm really happy to see her sharing. So bear with us and welcome. And also welcome the replay team that will join us later on, because this will be available hours, days, weeks, and months after the live stream, and available on LinkedIn and YouTube in our new channel, Connect Impact Hub. I say our because, of course, it's Marsha, but I'm happy to collaborate also. So Marsha, Paulette, Jane, welcome on stage whenever you want. I am ready with my special hot chocolate, ready to run the show with you, and welcome for the amazing beings already watching the streaming. So I'm just checking if they were saying, "Oh, school, help! I'm in, but no event." Whoa, that's interesting. So I'm going to see if I can share again. I hope that I was. No, you never know. So I'm going to see if it works right now. Bear with me, my friends, because if I'm the only one not be really interesting. So bear with me. I'm going to right now. I'm struggling, my friend. It will work, my friends. This all is fine. All is not this fine. So link copied. Is the link working? Oh, I see someone. So Masha, so the link is working. So thank you, Masha.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Sorry, we're having tech issues. Ollie, you're going in and out.
Probably was a link.
I just sent the link to everyone.
Right now to send the
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are so sorry. We're having tech issues on our end.
You are there.
I'm here.
I apologize. Thank you so much.
I just sent the link over to Jane and also Paulette.
Yeah, me too.
It's
so
okay. Don't worry, Ollie. Can you hear me?
Okay, Jane is there. So yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone, for your patience with us. Woohoo! Yay! Welcome,
Woohoo,
Jane.
Jane!
I am here.
Apologize, guys.
Welcome.
Cool. So
Woohoo! All right, let's get this party started.
yeah.
I sent the link to Paulette, so I know that we're these tech issues. I'm not a techie person, so I really thank you all for your patience. So let's go ahead and go. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So my name is Martha. I am the founder of Connect Impact Hub. We're here on a mission to end homelessness, and we're having these conversations that we really need to start hearing more of as a community. So I'm so excited to be here with Ollie, Jane, and everyone that's here with us today. Thank you for joining us and being patient as we maneuvered ourselves through this techie issues. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Ollie for an introduction. Ollie. Okay, go ahead, Jane. Take over the mic. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Martha. Hi, everybody. My name is Jane Luong. I am joining from Golden State, California. I am a mom,
Well,
badass,
I am Oli.
rebel.
I am the.
Oh, there's a delay. There's a delay.
It's okay. Go ahead, Ollie. Okay, back to me. So I was saying that I am joining Martha and Ollie on this journey is because I am a huge advocate for the underserved. This movement, program, everything Connect Impact Hub is my heart and soul. I'm a big advocate for the underserved. So I love that Martha is so passionate about helping others and helping others in a way that we meet them where they're at, right? A lot of our unhoused community members, they're not looking for a handout. They're looking for a hand up, and to really be respectful and bring a lot of dignity to it, I think is super duper important. I've been in the space actively for about like 5 years, but growing up, it's always been kind of very near and dear to my heart, and I raised my son the same as well. So I am super duper excited to be here, be a part of Connect Impact Hub's journey. Hi, Paulette. Nice to see your beautiful face. So yeah, I am here because I not only love the mission, but I love the whole behind Connect Impact Hub.
Thank you so much, Jane. So Paulette, we're just going through introductions. We have been having a little bit of tech issues. So you came in at like the perfect time.
Oh, don't talk to me about tech issues. I've had to become a member of Reload. I was making my own video. I was like, Ollie, what am I doing? But anyway, I'm here now. I've made my own video of me going, Ollie, where are you? So anyway, I'll admit that I am a technophobe. So there you are, Paulette Hallam, technophobe. I've been a humanitarian all my life. I was born that way. And so that has always been, if you like, the part of me that I always thought was going to be what I'd be led with. I had a son very late in life at the age of 39, very unexpected and a wonderful surprise. And then, as I've spoken many times before, we found out about autism and not really understanding just what an effect it was going to have on our lives and his lives. I became a huge I had a huge interest and a reason to learn. So I learned and I read and I learned until I think I could pretty much speak one on one with every single autistic specialist and did. And that's why in the end I became a counsellor when I decided to retire, because I had all the knowledge already. I'd passed all the exams to get Ben to a place where he was comfortable with being with people, and is now at university doing medicine. So for goodness sake, he's gone all the way. And yes, he's a smart lad, but he's still damaged in a way that when you talk about autism, is it a damaged person? They don't have the same ways of handling situations. So, for example, they've just thrown a huge spanner in the works. She's one of my expressions on their the way that they work with their exams. Now, you'd think to most people that I'd be like, oh, I don't quite know, a bit uncomfortable with that. Ben, meltdown, straight to meltdown, because it's freaked him out. It's something different to what he was expecting. So for me, I've learned over the years that we have to meet people where they are, and that's the only way we can be. And we have to meet people where they want us to meet them. So I can go in gung ho, I've got all this knowledge, but if you don't want it, you're just going to put all the resistance up to that knowledge. So in exactly the same way that when you go with your bags and you deliver your care bags, if somebody says, no, thank you, ma'am, you don't go, but you should surely need my bag, come on. I'm out here doing a good deed. Take it. If you were to be like that, then it would be falling at the first hurdle, because you understand that these people have got pride. These people have rights. These people have the decision to determine what they want and what they don't want, regardless of damage, regardless of pain, regardless of what's happened to them or what their circumstance is. And so I'm a great believer that we have to be out there in the world, meeting people where they are. And that's my learning. I probably would have been different without Ben in my life. But I think I would have been at Anna and my banner, waving my banner, saying, do it my way. But I've learned that we don't do that. What we do is we do it their way. We meet them at their point. Would you like a coat, sir? I've got a spare coat. I'd love a coat. Great, thanks. Would I like a coat, sir? Shove your coat. Okay, I'll shove my coat. That's fine. I just wondered, you looked cold. No problem. Well, all right then, I'll take it. Okay, here's your coat, sir. They still got the coat. Whichever reaction you got, the result was the same. And that's what I believe is about understanding the real need for what we're doing and what you're doing and what Jane's doing and what the whole world and Ollie and everybody's trying to come to this humanitarian decision that we are trying to do the right thing, but on their terms, on our community's terms. We help our community how they want to be helped. So, that's my two penneth, and I'm sorry if I came in at the wrong time, but that's where I'm at. So hopefully people know where they are now.
Thank you so much, Paulette. That was a beautiful introduction. We're definitely going to be having a good conversation with Jane. I see a lot of synchronicity with the passion here, and this is why Jane is here with us today. So, Ollie, please share who you are for our guests that may not know you. Please introduce yourself.
Well, I'm humbly the tech assistant, and I'm happy to empower each three of you. I'm just humble from Belgium, passionate about languages and about words and about nature and human connections. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Ollie. And you're not just the tech guy, okay? Okay.
I'm the chocolate provider.
Woohoo!
That's right. I wanted to add a little more to what Paulette said about, meeting them where they're at. Working in this space, I've learned a lot that they are the expert on them, right? Even though we may have a different perspective and what they may need, they are the, expert on them. They know how they're feeling. They know what they're thinking, everything. And all we can do is move with kindness and intention. And that's kind of what I always keep in mind if I'm doing outreach or, I'm at the corner and I've got my bag of snacks or whatever, as long as we move with kindness and intention, and remember that, they are the expert on them. We can't want more for them than they want for themselves, right? I've been in many situations where I didn't feel like I was the expert, but I felt like I could do more. But until they're open to receiving, you can't pour, right? You can't pour in a cup that the lid's not open or the cup's not there. And so I think it's really nice to communicate that resources are available, you're available, X is available, and that this isn't just a drive by, and that there's people who care about them and such. So
Thank you so much, Jane. Touching on that base, like meeting people where they're at and not trying to shove in the resources, right? We've actually, we've had so many talks behind the scenes and messages about different cases. And what I admire about you, Jane, is that you're completely about advocacy, but also like we could only do so much, right? Like if they're not going to let us like help, because they can really just say, yeah, we're going to do it, but are you really going to do it? So please, let's talk about that. Let's jump into that, because these are conversations everyone needs to hear. I have some examples, and I'm sure you do, that you could share with us, and how this all like comes into your daily life, because I know that you're out there also supporting our community members. So please share a little bit more of that so we can all learn as well.
For me, over the years, I've adapted and learned a huge deal and grown from the different community members that I've been able to connect with, and such. And it varies. I don't have the same day every day. Maybe one day it's I'm just sitting and having a conversation. Maybe someone needs a hug. Maybe someone needs underwear. Someone needs a warm meal. It really varies. And so for me, adaptability is super important. I used to really just kind of do one-offs, is what I call it. I connect with this community member, that community member. I am more focused on the greater reach and the greater impact. So for me, it's super duper important right now to focus on collaboration, which is exactly what we're doing. We need to collaborate. We need to have these conversations. We need to get the reach, right? These conversations. Who do I know that I can share this with? Who in their network can I get my little paws on? Right? One of the things I learned navigating this space is companies have something called CSRs, corporate social responsibility, which means they operate their profitable business in a way that gives back to the community. So that's something I've learned and I've definitely utilized, for sure. But it's having these conversations, like, for me, I went from teaching special ed to working in the wine industry to now being kind of in that nonprofit sector. And I'm going to be honest, I was not welcome, open arms in this sector. No one really wanted to hear from me because I didn't have any nonprofit experience. I had a mentor that said, you know what, no one wants to hire you. No one wants to work with you. Start your own. And so that's what I did. I started my own. It's called Jane's Healing Stone, and it's focusing on support for youth survivors of human trafficking. So I am heavily focused in that area. But for me, if someone needs help, I'm going to help them if I can, right? And I really pride myself in being really respectful with anyone I help. There's never any judging. There's never any questioning. It's really, hi, my name is Jane. What's yours? And oftentimes I come across people and they say, you know what, it's been years since someone's asked me my name, and these are real life stories, real life interactions I've had. And there are going to be times when they're going to break your heart. I had a foster girl for a couple months, end of last year, beginning of this year. And I think for me, it's really important that I'm not out here trying to save anybody. No one needs to be saved. They just need, a hand up. They need a little bit of support, and, thank you for sharing your family story. Um, yesterday or not too long ago. I'm sorry, the days are all kind of
It's
confused,
okay.
but it can be anybody. It can be, your friend, your neighbor, your cousin, whoever. I think another thing that I bring to the table is I grew up very poor. So I was never homeless, but I could be, right? So I grew up very poor. My parents are immigrants. I'm, first generation here. And so I don't see myself very much different from a lot of, our unhoused community members. I am a strong believer that we can't function unless our basic needs are met, right? Food, medical, shelter. Just think about, days when it's like 12:30 and you're like, did I eat? Did I shower? Right? And like, can you function? No. So just imagine that, someone else is going on day 17 of not eating, not sleeping very well, not having their insulin or whatever. So when you're working in this space, I think it's really, really, really important um, to not only be like empathetic, but just being like mindful and realistic. Um, what has been super important for me is transparency, and that's what I really love about Connect Impact Hub is the transparency about the program, the mission, and whatnot, and that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say something? Something happened earlier on today in a room, an audio room, and I found myself, when you're determined not to speak because you're working away, and then I was like, hang on a minute, somebody's got to say something, and I found myself like pushing forward, and Annie knew there was going to be trouble because I must have started off quite aggressively, and that's not like me. But there is a definite link between kids that are brought up in the care system that end up in youth detention, that end up in prisons, and then on the streets. And I will stand by that information because I've read it a million times in a million reports because I was the kid in care. And yet I was one of the few that made it to the glass ceiling, as they call it. But you know what? Not everyone has the same determination. Not everyone has the same luck. Not everybody has that inner strength, that inner voice that I talk about all the time that says, do I go left or do I go right? Do I have hope or do I have fear? Do I have determination or do I have absolutely nothing and face nothing and feel like nothing? And I've got a rubbish bag with all my stuff in. That means I'm rubbish. And that is the mental state that you walk around with. And if we can't change that at, from children, that's how they've felt. It's a mental block to break that a cycle. I was speaking with Jackie about it, Jackie Hellberg. You know, Jackie talks about us all the time, rehabilitation and all these things. But, these people shouldn't even be on the street in the first place,
Mhm.
right? I know we have to do the work. I know we have to help what we can and do what we can. And as you're quite right, you cannot wave a magic wand, if only we could, and fix the world. We can't. But we have to do the best with what we've got, where we can, for who we can. And I really do believe that we have to stop blaming people for being in this position. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like that, but I don't know how you feel, Martha, but this is probably the most impassioned you've ever heard me, because I can't bear the fact that these people get blamed.
Mhm.
Everybody's one paycheck away from that place, you know? And no one wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the reality. and these numbers are going to grow
Mhm.
as the more jobs get lost, the bigger, what do you call them, layoffs in the States. As the layoffs increase, this is only going to get worse. And I really feel that we need to, be realistic about this, because nobody is choosing this. Nobody goes, I think I fancy homelessness. Yes, starvation. Yes, that sounds great. Oh, no showering for 17 days. Oh, yes, tick that box. As if anyone would actually do that through choice. Really? You know, this is the part of of what you're doing, Martha, that is so important, that people realize, they really realize the world over, these things are not choices.
Mhm.
We've got an absolute pandemic on our hands of homelessness, and we've got to change something. Something has got to give. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Paulette. No, I completely agree. As I'm coming across our community members, these are adults, and I'm going to just speak on a current case, um, where they have to make decisions, but they're not in that mind frame to make those decisions. So they're asking people to create GoFunds for me. This happened today. Okay. And because this person's not in a position to do that. Now, what's happening is this person can get taken advantage of. And this is where our systems, right, the federal government, where we need more support, where we need people that are trustworthy to be holding our hands to walk us through these steps. Because that's another, this gentleman is homeless. He works for DoorDash, and he's a refugee. And so he's in a real big pickle. He's having issues with his car, and that's what gets him to his work, DoorDash. So I reached out to DoorDash, and I know I'm getting a little bit off subject, and they told me basically because he's a contractor, they don't help. They don't provide any support. And that's where our systems are failing us, because yes, he's an independent contractor, but we should, as employers, we should at least have some type of support system to help our employees, so we're not in this position being homeless, have a job, but I can't afford the rent. All I could afford is $400. I have to pay for my car. My car doesn't work now. I'm in my car sleeping with my dog. Nobody wants to help. So we're like living this in real life. But this is so many people that are living it. And who do you go? And when you go and ask for help, are those people trustworthy? Are they going to protect my information? That's another area that is so sensitive that we have to bring to light. So please, Ollie, do you have anything to share before we jump into this? Because this is getting hot, this topic.
Yeah, I just want to share some comments right now from Felipe. Thank you again for you, the audience. We are 31 on LinkedIn. I don't check YouTube, but LinkedIn 31 people. And thank you, Felipe, for your comments. And
Thank you.
Thank you also, Dan. Thank you for your comment. And Grace, happy to see you, Grace.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Please comment. Any questions, please ask us. We want to definitely have communication open here and be very transparent with what we're discussing, because the more we speak on this, the more attention we'll start getting on this big crisis that we're all facing.
Yes, and feel free also to share this event and to rewatch yesterday. We are doing it the whole week until Sunday, so feel free to share to your network also.
Thank you. So going back to the subject about asking for help and going to the right people to get help, a lot of our members, community members, when they're not in that mentality of getting that assistance, To be honest with you, they should not be on the streets, because if they can't make a decision for themselves, why are they even out there? So please, Jane, if you could pitch in there your insights on what you've seen.
So my biggest pain point, I want to say, is that a lot of organizations, a lot of programs, a lot of resources say they're here, we have this, we have X, Y, and Z. Until I had my foster youth and, a survivor of DV that I housed, until I navigated those resources and programs with them, no, they're not really there. They're there on paper, they're there online. But when you try to go get help, it's either not available or you're jumping through, 47 hoops and you have to X, Y, and Z. I'm speaking from experience how frustrating it was. I was probably at human services every day for 3 months to get like food resources for my kiddo, right? And getting her paperwork for, new identification, and just like forget it. If you're having a crisis on a Sunday, forget it. I called like 2 different crisis lines. And for me, I was done fighting, and so I just took it upon myself. I brought them home, I fed them, I, helped them do resume, and it's just like, but that's not sustainable, right? So for me, I think it's super duper important. And for me, it's really easy for me to go ask donors, ask companies, ask X, Y, and Z for money. It's easy for me because I, foster those relationships, and I'm able to like connect with my network. But I think as people who care, you, me, Paulette, Ollie, Grace, Dan, Felipe, whoever's on this call, it matters to them, right? It touches them in a way where they want to get involved. And I think it's super important that you be mindful of how much you can help, how far you can go. Even if it's like what Ollie said, hey, share this event with someone. Or maybe you can ask your coworker, hey, I was just at this event. This is what they're doing. Do you know anybody who would be interested? And I think it's like you said, the ripple effect. Just keep sharing, keep that dialogue. The little like small touch points that I do, and I know you do this, Martha, is during the summer I have snacks, water bottles in my car. During the winter I have socks, hoodies, blankets, doing those kind of little things. But I think in order for us to move the needle, we have to work together, right? Work together, more hands, less weight, more movement. I think these conversations are so important. And help where you can, but remember to have those boundaries. Like, I know now that I'm not going to bring anybody else in my home, right? Not that it was a bad experience. It was just very heavy on my heart, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. But until there is, a housing solution, like really press on, your Senate, your councilman, your, board of supervisors, like, hey, I want to see a change. My godson, he is a security guard for at least like 3 or 4 encampments. And he has nothing but beautiful things to say about that community. He has no issues with them. But when he's patrolling like the mall or whatever, he's got all kinds of, And so like, I think people really need to step back and like Paulette said, no one chooses to be homeless. No one chooses to be hungry, right? There's something that has happened that has put them there. Like I work with the foster youth community, right? And I don't even try to fix the system, right? I'm more focused on building a sustainable one with people who are making decisions and, care about making an impact. Like, we can't make people care, but we can share our story. We can share what we're doing. My friend Damian Kinsey, he has been really inspirational. Like, I've done a lot of stuff and haven't shared it. And he's like, why? Why aren't you sharing? When you share, someone else is inspired. I'm like, okay, fine. Because I don't like the attention. I don't like this. I don't share. So, people are like, oh, good job, Jane. Because it's not even about that. It's about how can we help? How can more people help? So he really inspired me to share the kind of work that I do, in great detail. And so I do share what I'm comfortable with sharing, but I definitely really feel like we all have to rally together. We got to ruffle feathers. We got to poke people. We got to hold people accountable. One of the things there's a lot of things beautiful about Martha, but she is incredible about hand holding and helping step by step by step, right? Like caseworker or social worker kind of stuff. And a lot of people just need that, right? When they're tired, they're hungry, they don't have their medication, they just can't process. And to have Marthas out there helping them step by step by step, right? It's just super important. And I love your heart and soul. I love your heart and soul
I'm
for
sorry.
caring.
One of
And
the things that you've said, Jane, that's really sort of caught my eye is the corporates that you deal with, right? So you've got the corporates that you're dealing with, and they are your, if you like, the ones that give you the funds. Now we know that they have a corporate responsibility to do that. They also get a huge tax. If it's the same as the UK,
yeah,
they get a huge tax benefit for doing
absolutely.
it. So there, for me, there is, it's a win-win for the business. One, they get to put that on the front of their accounts when they show their huge profits. Yes, we made a huge profit, but we also did this huge good deed and also blah blah blah, right? And every accountant will tell them to do it. Every accountant will. But most companies can't be bothered or don't know where to go or don't even really think of it as being a major problem because it isn't actually under their nose. They might not drive that way, they might not go past it, they might not see it. In fact, they might drive in the opposite direction. And I know, and this is no disrespect to anybody, there are many, many people that I have spoken to who have told me that when somebody has died, that they didn't know what to say, so they crossed the street, right? So that person now has not only lost their spouse, they've lost their community because nobody would speak to them for fear of upsetting them. They thought, or upsetting themselves or saying the wrong thing. But if you turn away from that problem, all you ever do is leave them with that problem and no one to talk to. So it's exactly the same thing with these companies. Let's go hand holding these companies and tell them you do know you have a corporate responsibility, right? And you do know that you get this huge tax benefit, right? Well, how about we do this, right? And we'll hand hold them through that process. And then that way, maybe because of what you've done, Jane, you can tell Martha how to go about it. And I have got no problem making those phone calls, as Martha knows. I'll shout and scream at anyone. So I've been that person. So I'm happy to have that conversation with people and say, I'm talking about people on your street, sir, not my street, right? No,
Absolutely.
I'm in the UK, and I'm talking about your back door. So let's talk about what we can do about your back door in the kindest way, in the nicest way. But I will tell them in no uncertain terms they've got a corporate responsibility, and they have. When you're making vast profits like these blimmin' oil companies are, And this is the area in which you are both working. This is what I find so unbelievable. The scales are weighed so heavy on all the money that's, the profits and all the money, and yet there seems to be nothing there to come back in, or very little. And that's something that I would really appreciate your take on, because anything you can guide us on, do you not agree, Martha? We will eat it up.
100%. So that was actually going to be our phase 3, but it almost seems like we're already moving into that phase because of what happened today with this big organization. And I was just shocked. I'm like, he's living in his car and with his little fur baby, and he doesn't want to go to the shelter because they're not accepting him and the fur baby. That's another problem. So what can we do as organizations to support our employees, our contractors, is supplying them with support systems that are actually going to help them with resources, with like utility. I mentioned that before yesterday, just the basic needs that you need to survive. Food. I mean, how many employees, I don't know what the data is, but I'm going to look into that. I wonder how many employees there are that are homeless and they get up every morning and go to work. And they don't even know they're homeless because they don't want to share that information.
And
Yes.
they'll be using their last address so that they can continue being employed.
Yes, and I would add also how many food is wasted, because all of these restaurant or buffet or whatever, and I don't know what's in place in US or in UK, but in Belgium and probably all around the world, there is also an app that is called Too Go. And when you have food that is still edible, then you can provide food to people. Just add in the app, and then there are people that will come and that will say, "Oh, I need to take this and that," and to avoid food waste and to allow community members to have enough food.
Oh,
Agreed.
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. I
Wow.
think when you say phase 3, Martha, without funds in the bank and without the facilities to just go, look, I can put you up in this place and I can give you some money to help with your car, because it's a genuine need. And if it was a subsidy from your Connect Impact Hub, then, and you're giving it directly to the person to be able, and you pay for the hostel
Yes.
or whatever it is, you're not going to feel bad that you've walked away from that gentleman going, well, the company don't care and I can't, but another company did. As long as the money is in Connect Impact Hub's bank, how will you use that money as long as it's going to the good? And that would be exactly what you're talking about. That gentleman needs to be homed. He
Yes.
needs to be having his car fixed, and he's working. This is the
Yes.
part that I really can't stress enough. As so many people are homeless, are working. I mean, that is a massive factor. If you are working and you still don't have the basic needs, for goodness sake, what hope is there for those that aren't working,
Right. Right. Whew. I got a little tense as I'm hearing this conversation because this is such a sensitive conversation, and just to hear the desperation on the other end, and you're listening. And yes, if I had the funding, I would have gone and paid his transmission to be fixed, and we would have put him in a hotel. But I'm not there. So I'm calling around, asking for resources. He's calling on his end, and we're being told, we can't help you. We don't have anything. So he's right now so upset. I have to give him a space.
I
Because go ahead,
I
go
feel
ahead.
I feel like a lot of places that are available, they make it so hard. You have to hit X, Y, and Z to get even like a shred of help, right? So are they really helping?
That's where there's a lot of questions, Jane. I'm glad you brought that up because when you're on the other end making the phone calls and you're getting the notes, you're like, well, what are you helping with?
What can you
What are you
provide?
helping with?
Mhm.
So if you can't provide shelter, so what do you provide? Well, we provide case managers. They can come on site. We'll provide my case manager. What the case manager does is we fill out the forms for them to get on the wait list for housing. Well, we already know how housing is. There's a long wait list. We don't see no light there at the end of the tunnel anytime soon. Unless you're a family with children, then those are going to be first versus or someone with a health condition.
Yeah, we don't need paper. We need action. We need results. It's like
Mhm.
it's easy to write a name on the paper and to say, look, it's in 37 months. No, we need a solution now, as soon as possible.
Yes.
And we need money in Connect Impact Hub.
Yes.
We need to get that totted up so that you've got something that you can draw down from. Because you can't always rely, as you say, on the resources. It seems to me less and less that this lovely word resources is a big fat no to so many people.
Right. And the more, I've been doing this, the more I'm realizing that there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of help needed when Connect Impact Hub has this hub. I can certainly see that people are going to come to us because they want action now. So I need your support. Like, I am desperately asking you to please donate. We have a 3-year plan for our Connect Impact Hub. So please donate, please refer. We want partners. So please, we need the help now so that we can provide this gentleman, for example. I could go and get his transmission fixed with my mechanic. I would physically be there with him, making sure that that money goes to getting his car fixed, making sure that he's getting that hotel for him and his fur baby, getting him out of that car so that he could sleep in a bed. It's tough to be on the other end and not being able. I feel helpless, to be honest with you, because I can't. There's nothing that I can do other than make these phone calls, try to see who could help while I'm here trying to build Connect
But
Impact
that's
Hub.
more than many are doing, Martha. And
Exactly.
please,
I was just going to
that's
say
the
that.
boundary. That's this boundary thing all the time. We love you for trying, right? There are many people, like I said, just drive the other way, look the other way, don't even see it, wouldn't even be aware if there's a problem, in their own backyard, because it suits them to look in the other direction. But what I would like to do, and eventually when this gets a bigger following and this goes out on YouTube and all these other places, is if you work for a company and you don't know what your company's rules and regulations are or what they do as their contribution, ask, find out. And if they don't use it and if they're not using it, tell them about this amazing Connect Impact Hub that could do with this money. And they are absolutely as transparent as the next. And we will show people how and what that money is used for, down to the very last cent, right? So,
That is
there, even if people are not necessarily going to be able to contribute out their own pockets, their businesses might be able to, or their friends, or their neighbors, or the man down the road who they know is the CEO of a large corporate. Hey, go knock on his door, ask the question. Be brave for the sake of these people that
yes,
we're talking about, because they need people to care. That's what it's all about, right?
exactly, exactly. Jane, go ahead, please.
I think it's really important because LinkedIn is a network, right? We all have, I think mine is a little over 500, which isn't very much, but I think all of us and all of our, viewers today, I kindly ask you to go back to your network, say, hey, Connect Impact is doing this. Are you interested in supporting them, either liking, sharing, donating, XYZ? And then also take it the next level. Hey, do you know someone in your network that I can connect with and play that? What do you call that? The little dance,
Yeah.
right? That's what I love to do is like, hey, Connect. Can I shop your network? Oh, absolutely. Right? Because we've made that relationship. We've created that, you know, connection. Like for
Yeah,
me, I don't have connections that collect dust. So sometimes people request to connect with me and I don't accept because I don't see what we're going to be doing together. Right? And so I ask everybody watching today, you're here because you care. First of all, you're here because you care. Second, because you're awesome for caring, right? And if I could, I would throw all my money into Connect Impact Hub. And I can't right now. But what I can do is optimize my network and be that ask. Hey, can I have, $15,000 so that, we can get this van or this, bus. I don't know what you decided yet, but hey, can we have, that? Hey, can I have 75 or $250 so we can help, you know,
or
Johnny
do
fix
you
his
have,
car?
or do you have a vehicle that you don't use?
Yeah, what I found really successful with the organizations that I worked with is transparency, transparency, transparency. Right? When you say, "Hey, can I have 500,000 because we're doing good?" It's great, but when you say, "Hey, can I have $1,250 so that I can, serve this many meals at this hall for this community?" People are gonna support. That's my experience. When you can put a dollar amount to the action that you're trying to do, people will be like, "Hey, you know, I feel like that works more in
Yeah,
my experience." Mhm.
and showing pictures, showing pictures, or I was hearing like Christine saying, showing proof, like
Mhm.
tickets or recipes, or no, tickets, proofs, and also creating a positive spiral. Like I am the CEO of XYZ and I donate to Connecting Impact Hub with a photo with me and Marsha or whatever, and to say that to create a positive spiral that other companies says, I'm going to do that also. So we need that spiral.
The other thing I feel like is a nice ask is yes, funds are great, but if there's anyone that or connected to with donations in kind, right, Martha? We need
Yes.
undergarments,
Yes.
socks. So anybody know anybody at those kind of places
Tents.
that can
Tents.
donate those items? Yes. So
Umbrellas.
sporting goods stores, please go through your network and be like, hey, do you know anyone here that can do donations in kind? Martha knows I'm already working on that myself, but just get those wheels turning, and any donation is appreciated.
And also donation, of course, of money, and also donation of resources, tools, local places, or time services.
Mhm.
Like, because maybe a community member needs to have a shower or to have a haircut, or I don't know.
Yes. And then also, I definitely want to express too that it could be anywhere because there's shelters all over the world. So it doesn't matter where you're located. If you have a resource that you want to share, send me a message on LinkedIn. We're also on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. So you can contact us there as well. If you want to, support us in any other way, please do. Jane, I definitely want to tell you, I know we're getting close on time here. You have been such a great support in the background. You have been like right on me, like, do. I'm like, okay. So I definitely want to thank you for being that motivation. Like this has to be done the right way. And I love that about you, the transparency portion. When I ran things by you on certain things when it comes to Connect Impact Hub, and you were like, well, it should be more clear. And so I appreciate that. And for you bringing that up here too, because again, we're brand new nonprofit. And so I just thank you for, even recently, Jane just sent me a picture of a what is it? An ambulance that we could use as our van for our mobile, and it's perfect size. And she's like, make sure you follow up. So that's the type of community that we have here at Connect Impact Hub, is holding each other accountable. And Paulette, you're on me. I know you are. And I love that about you too. And you just keep pushing me, and we're here to support each other. And Paulette just launched a book. Paulette, please share, because we didn't even share that yesterday. Please share your book.
Absolutely, I will, because the funds that are raised in the US are all going to Connect Impact Hub. So, Jack and Water, in Newhouse Nerves. It's a self-help book for young kiddos, probably from the age of 6 to about 12. It's about transitioning. So it's changing classrooms, going to a new house, going to a new school. It's any kind of transitioning. The book will help the children. As a qualified therapist, I know it works. As a mum, I know it works. And the fact that we can actually say, for every single download, we could put the links underneath as well, Ollie, if you wouldn't mind. But 50 cents from every single book that is sold in the US is going to Connect Impact Hub. And that's a good start. So, and when they buy the physical book, it's £1.46. So $1.46. Let's get it right. So it's not huge, but it's a start. And if I can do that, other people can do that, right? And that's how these little tiny ripples of money will start to come in on a regular basis, and it's going to make a big difference. Get that man's car fixed, Wouldn't that be wonderful? So, and the thing about it as well is, let's just say we phoned 5 mechanics and we tell the 5 mechanics the story. And the 5 mechanics, one of them says, look, I'll do it for just the cost of the parts. And all of a sudden we've saved half the money. That goes to half the money towards him getting a room. So I just think that we have got the ability and the personalities here who cared so much that we will put ourselves out to make those calls. With WhatsApp, I get it all for free. So long as they're on WhatsApp, I'm all right. If it's off WhatsApp, it's about £2 million a minute. So it's not great. But WhatsApp, absolutely. I will be all over it. But LinkedIn, let's use LinkedIn. LinkedIn mechanics, calling all LinkedIn mechanics in this area. We need you. Let's do that. We find them. We'll search them up. We'll look them up. We'll jump on one tomorrow.
Yes, here in Houston. If you have a mechanic that would like to volunteer, please let us know. It's a transmission that he needs assistance with. Thank you. So I know we have a question. Do we want to help few people well, or a lot of people poorly, and accessing resources has all become a lottery? Jane?
I'm happy to answer that. Lisa, great question. honestly, transparently, and realistically, we do the best that we can, right? It's not about the quantity of people we help, right? It's how we can meet that need now, today, tomorrow, right? So whatever it is, for example, Martha's um, DoorDash driver, he needs car fixed, hotel, food, right? That's the need. So we do our best. And I think it's by how it comes, how it shows up, or whatever it is. Do we want to help everybody? Well, absolutely. But we're realistic people. And right now it's just not sustainable. So we do what we can, the best that we can anywhere in the world, not just Houston, not just, wherever. But I know we're building Connect Impact Hub in Houston, and I can't wait for it to be built so we can just plug and play it anywhere in the world. That is what I'm super excited about. I work with a lot of programs, and that's what I'm super excited about, is when someone builds the program and then we can just replicate everywhere else.
Love that. Thank you so much, Jane. Like you said, we want to help everybody. I wish I could help him right now, jump in my car and go take him to get that car fixed. But I know we're going to get there. And I personally, I'm not a fan of the lotteries. I grew up on Section 8, low income family. We were part of the lotteries as well. There's a long wait list. So I definitely am pushing for having the resources available now and not later. So that's definitely big on my to-do list, having the resources now, not later. So I know we're a little over time. So any closing thoughts before we head on out?
I want to add one more thing because I just have no shame. Anyone who wants to sponsor, we are happy to, advertise a logo. If anyone wants to be a big sponsor of Connect Impact Hub, we would love to throw a logo on the van,
Yes.
the ambulance, whatever. And at some point, we're gonna have some kind of gift for our donors. So
Thank you so much, Jane. Ollie?
Well, I don't have any thing to say right now. I will talk more tomorrow. I know tomorrow we will probably welcome Aram, if I'm right.
You are correct. Thank you so much, Ollie. And thank you for being you and just always showing us love. Paulette, please.
I think I just in a funny kind of way, I think Jane and I might be cut from the same cloth. No shame at all. If you've got money spare, please just send it to the right place. You know where it is. It's Connect Impact Hub. If you haven't got it, ask somebody who has. If your company's got it, ask them. Anybody you think you can speak to that may be able to help with the financial situation, let's use that opportunity. And I've got nearly 7,600 followers, so I will be certainly doing that tomorrow with Martha. We'll work on a joint post tomorrow, all right? Because we need to use that to the best of our ability.
Thank you so much, Jane, Paulette, Ollie. I appreciate you all so much. And everyone that joined us, Lisa, Grace, Felipe, and anyone else that's here that I can't see your comments or that is
And
watching us.
Christine and Kevin and Kenny also, and we are 52.
Woohoo! Wow. Thank you so much for staying here with us and supporting our movement. This is big. Please continue to support us in any way that you can. Please also share what you're doing in your communities. We want to know, we want to see it. And hashtag Connect Impact Hub. Let's keep uniting for change. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day or evening or morning. Thank
Bye.
you.